Hi, everybody. Karen Roby here for TechRepublic. We're hearing more and more ways that technology is being woven into the medical field. I'm happy today to be joined by John Freese. He's the CEO and founder of MySkin. Thanks for being with me, John.
Thank you very much. Pleasure being here.
Certainly, there's a lot of things, though, that are understandable of how technology can help change things in medicine. Robots are in the operating room, and we're just seeing all kinds of really innovative things going on. But there's certain things we think of that ways that doctors can't be replaced, or things that we just can't put technology in place of. Certainly, observing your moles is one of those things, on our skin that I would never think, again, technology would play a role in. So tell us, if you would, before we get to the technology part of this, the AR and the machine learning, how did you come up with this idea, and tell us a little bit more about it?
Yes, as I told you, I'm an IT consultant. I've been in the IT industry for many years, and I'm living with my partner here, and she is definitely in the high risk of developing skin cancer. And so she's blonde, blue-eyed, probably done too much sunbathing, tanning in her youth, and so she already had 12 moles removed, which was a concern to the doctor. But what they kept repeating to us, that we had to be extremely aware of how the skin, and especially your moles, develop on your skin. And I'm kind of frustrated not doing anything. And when we sit with these powerful tools and we have these image technologies available, I couldn't help thinking that there was something you could do as a patient or as a concerned user at home in between your clinical consultations. Because the single most important thing that the doctor tells you about is that if anything is changing on your skin, either a mole changing in size or shape or color, or if anything new appears on your skin, you should have it checked out. That's a very easy, understandable recommendation from the clinical side, but it's not trivial to do. So that's why I came up with the idea of using images to support these patients, these users at home in between the clinical consultations.
Very good. And so with you having a tech background, very interesting how you've married the two here, especially from your own personal experience. I certainly have my fair share of issues from being light skinned and being way too much time out in the sun years ago. So paying for that now. So this is very interesting. Talk about the machine learning behind it. Whether it's VR, AR, what's involved here, and how this is going into to really putting this platform out there.
Yes, the whole technology is a skin monitoring app and technology that supports users with checking themselves, identifying and documenting these changes that they can see over time, and comparing these images. But we have several high fidelity and very advanced technologies that we have developed over time that supports the user with recognizing these lesions and elements on your skin so you can compare them better. We have a feature where you basically place the app and the phone on the table, and you can stand in front of it. It automatically takes all the images in full body of you, so you can compare and see these images over time to see if anything new coming up. And recently we just releasing this, what we call mole sizing feature, and that is totally new, and that gives you the capability of being able to measure moles, because size is an important factor to the doctor. So recommendations is that when a mole is above 6 millimeters, that's something you should have checked with your doctor, your dermatologist. And also, if a mole or lesion is changing over time, growing or changing shape or color, that's also something that the doctor should know about and have it checked. But it's not trivial to make these observations, not trivial to measure these things, and that's why we invented the mole sizing feature.
And this is really the epitome of how technology, I think, John, can help empower people, to take control of their health, and not just say, well, I'm going to go in once a year and hope that the doctor finds something. Rather, they're really taking part in their own care.
I think that's what you see, the change in the landscape now. That is the active patient involvement, active patient engagement at home, where patients and users invest their own time in collecting these data points, these measurements that later then can be used by the clinicians for different things, so that the clinician can get a better understanding of what has happened, how did it look a year ago, what was the measure of this a year ago, and so forth. And we see that change rapidly ramping up since more and more users adapt to our technology.
And John, having been in technology for years now, that being your background, would you have thought years ago that you would see machine learning being used in this way to help, with someone's health and sizing moles and following changes and things like that?
I don't know if I've been thinking in that direction. I just see that you see technology and AI machine learning supporting different businesses everywhere in the world. So also in the health space. But what I think was maybe somewhat really easy, very hopeful to see that these advanced technologies should be able to diagnose or assess, where I actually think that the first really use case and the first successful adoption of these is actually to support getting more information at the right time, and also getting more precise information, and strengthen that relation between the patients and the doctors. So, and that doesn't mean that you at some point maybe even be able to do something more advanced, but I think where we are in the current scenario, it's about creating convenient technology so the patient-doctor relation becomes stronger, so to speak.
Yeah, and John, specifically when we talk about, monitoring the size of our moles and through this, what does that look like?
But the technology we just recently released is actually, it's quite simple to actually get this support at home in between your clinic consultation. You basically take this kind of like a quarter, you put it next to your mole, and simply take the app technology we developed and take that image, and then you'll be able to see the size of the mole, because it recognizes this with advanced machine learning and augmented reality and visual and computer vision. It identifies the object and calculates the size of the mole, so people can see this and they have these reference points and the baseline of how things looks now, and then of course they can come back and see how things develop. So the convenience about mole sizing is basically a very simple tool. You're always wearing this. It's quite easy to get a quarter, and then you'll be able to measure your moles, lesions on your skin. And that's the new feature that we just recently launched.
That's fascinating. And like you just said, just about everybody has a phone and a quarter nearby. So really, it's exciting to think that you can do that to actually see, where you stand and how things are. John, I certainly appreciate you being here with me today. And we have much more, of course, about this technology up on our website on TechRepublic, and we hope you will all check it out there.